Welcome back, Tactical Gamers. In today's video, we're going to be diving into what I consider the most tactical first-person shooter that you can buy to this date, Ground Branch. Now, if you haven't heard of Ground Branch before, then, well, you're welcome. This game is an intense game highly focused on providing the most realistic, immersive, tactical experience that it can. These fellas really know how to make a game. Now, right now we are waiting on a highly anticipated 1030 update, which it appears is going to bring a very fresh overhaul to the game. The update has been taking a little bit longer than what everyone expected, so the dev team decided to release a little bit of a news update, so that's what I'll be sharing today. In their short update, they've given some info and teased a few new features that are coming up, and let me tell you, what's coming down the pipeline looks really amazing. Unfortunately, this update is expected to be released in a few weeks, not days. Sorry. I'll be showing that off when it actually releases. If that's something you're looking forward to, feel free to hit that subscribe button and stay updated. Alright, let's get into the good stuff. Let's start with the animations. What new animations are coming? Well, for one thing, transitional movements. The animations in the current build are essentially placeholders and not as realistic as the team would like. For this update, they're hoping to change that, as well as add a prone stance to the game. The prone stance may not make it into this update though, but the team was hopeful, and I'm personally hopeful. On your screen you'll see some of the previews for what to expect with the animations. They're also changing some of the reload animations. These animations are going to offer some refinement to the game, as the movements now can be described as clunky, which this is a common theme for early access shooters I've found. Now, after the animations, there are some really cool features being added to the game that will either be an amazing immersive experience for you, or a frustrating feature that will make it difficult for you to shoot those baddies. For me, it's most definitely going to be frustrating, but, you know, I'll take the hit for the sake of realism. The dev team will also be adding an encumbrance system. This first pass is going to add stamina, which is affected by both loadout weight and movement. This means that you're probably not going to be able to sprint all the way across the depot map again without stopping for a breather. They're going to be adding weapon sway, which will be affected by this stamina as well. They're also going to be adding in arm fatigue, which will be somewhat independent from stamina. In the game, you've got several different positions when you carry your rifle, and when you're in the ready position, which is the rifle facing forward on the screen like this, or aiming down your sights, your arms will be more fatigued and your aim will become less stable. Rifle weight will also affect this. Now, this is the first pass, so I'm guessing that the values are going to be tweaked a little bit based on feedback, but if you're looking for realism, you're getting it. Other additions to the system that I'm really going to enjoy are the inertia and effects on ready time. Now, I personally enjoy inertia in games, and I think it adds a lot to realism. Right now, the weapon will pretty much go wherever you point it without delay or sway, essentially making it like an asset that's just attached to your body. Now, it makes the game feel a little bit too responsive and stiff. This personally takes away from the immersion and realism of the movements, so I'm really excited for this to be added to the game. Next, onto soundscapes. This is where things get really cool. There are going to be more immersive ambient sounds into the game. As of now, there are, well, none. No birds, no bugs, just you, the ground, and a terrorist yelling, "Contact!" if you're not being as sneaky as you should be. Here's a quick preview of what they released. Now, the coolest part of the sound additions. At night, when there are crickets doing their cricket thing, they'll stop doing their cricket thing when the player gets close enough to their location. Personally, I think that's ridiculously cool, and I really don't know of any shooter that does this as of now, but feel free to let me know if I've missed out on that experience. I suppose that could be pretty helpful if you're doing PvP and trying to avoid getting snuck up on. Next up, shootable lights. Now, this is especially beneficial at night, obviously, but during night ops you can either switch lights on and off, or just shoot them out while you're advancing to cover your movements. This will only be a couple maps at first, but it's going to be a great addition once it gets expanded. Alright, now onto some weapons. We've got the FAL, the FAL with accessory rails, and the G3A3 coming to the system. And, now this is one thing that was really missing from the game, a bolt action rifle. The M24 SWS is coming back into the game, though I never experienced it personally in the game. I guess it was taken out because it didn't have the bolt animation, but now that that's in, it's coming back. Now me, I'm a big fan of the movie Shooter, so I can't wait to feel like Mark Wahlberg when this releases. Like any gold update, there are some spicy cosmetics also being added to the game. Apparently a lot of what's in the game right now is going to be touched up a bit, so it looks a lot nicer, and on your screen you'll see some of the visual additions being added to the game. I like what I see here. The more tactical, the better. And finally, in this 10:30 update, a couple new maps. Here's a paintball map and a nature area map. I personally can't get enough of those woodland maps. It makes me just feel at one with nature. And real quick, coming to the end here, not coming up in this update, but coming after the 10:30 update is a new UI, which is previewed here. This, I think, is desperately needed. I think the way the system works now is not exactly an enjoyable thing to look at. It works just fine, but I think this is something that looks a lot cleaner. So I'm looking forward to how they refine that a little bit further. Okay, one last thing, and this is a curious thing. At the end of the press release, they mentioned this huge news that's incoming. We have some seriously exciting news coming out very soon, and the future of Ground Branch is looking very, very good indeed. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all. What could this mean? If you scroll up just a little bit on the release, it talks about growing their team, and that they've added a few new folks, and then they say there are a few additional members joining our ranks soon, but more on that another time. Now, I wonder, and this is purely speculation, if another studio has reached out to offer some publishing deal or add some assets to the game. I don't really know, but whatever it is, I'm looking forward to it. Alright, that pretty much wraps up this one, guys. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Let me know your thoughts, especially about the huge news. Subscribe for more content, and I will see you all on the battlefield. Take care.